Yo guys, my name is Phoenix and welcome to a new video. I wanted to start this video by thanking you guys for all the support you've given me these days. The number of subs increased by quite a lot in just a week, so I wanted to say thank you to each and every one of you. I will do my best to make content that you may enjoy, and I hope you will stick around for more. So, Daria Rune. I've been wanting to try out a new version of Daria Rune ever since Wizard Race of Oz was revealed. And after trying it a bit, I have to say the deck is pretty fun. It's not top tier or anything, at least until the neutral package gets nerfed, but it is a decent deck that can win some games. So let's not waste any time and start from the deck list. This is the deck list that I've come up with. The cards you can see are 3 Insights and 2 Craigs. And yeah, let's talk about card choices. 2 Angelic Snipes are here just because it's a 1 play point spell. 3 Insights are core of this deck because the draw a card and spell boost your hand is just amazing. 3 Time War Mage Levi because it's such an amazing card. The fact that you can evolve it on turn 4 and spell boost your whole hand by playing Crimson Sorcery is a great deal for this deck. And in this particular version of Daria Rune, you want to deal as much face damage as possible, and Crimson Sorcery can go to face, so that's just perfect. 2 Craigs, because I didn't feel like I needed a third one, but he's pretty solid, and he's displaced in literally every single Daria deck ever, so yeah, you can even run 3 if you want. 2 Magic Missiles. I feel like this card could be swapped out for Kaleidoscopic Glow, but it works pretty well. Deal 1 damage and draw a card. It's literally just like Insight and Angelic Snipe merged together. 3 Conjure Golem, another core card. Summon a 2/2 Golem and spell boost your whole hand is just too good to give up. 2 Witchettes, because you don't need a third one. Yeah, playing this card for 0 is nice and all, but it's not all that great. But yeah, still a solid card. 3 Clark Arcane Scholar, another core card. You always run 3 of these, it's just too good. 2 Demonic Strike, because as I said, this is a very face oriented deck, and this goes very well with the Wizard Race of Oz. 3 copies of Piercing Rune. This card is still amazing even after the nerf. You can play it for 2 and clear something after you evolve, maybe after a Levi. Or you can play it for 1 with Wizard Race of Oz, and in both cases you just get good value and good damage from it. 2 Dance of Death. This card is good enough on its own, but it's especially good with a Wizard Race of Oz, so this is why you include it. 3 Ogre, just a core card for every Daria deck, because 0 play points 3/4 is great, and most of the times you can just play this on curve on turn 3. 2 Wizard Race of Oz. I was considering putting a third one, but I still don't have it. Even so, I think 2 is the perfect number. You don't need all 3 of them. This card is just amazing. You can use it for multiple things. You can use it to refill your hand, or you can use it to deal some burn damage by playing this card and playing a Dance of Death for 1 and a Demonic Strike for 1, or even Mutagenic Bolt. This is exactly the card a Daria Rune deck needed to start being competitive again. 3 Blade Mages, another core card. The fact that it can deal damage to the face is awesome, and you can even use it for board control sometimes. 2 Mutagenic Bolts. I didn't feel like you need a third one here, even to counter Bloodcraft, because you have so much card draw and card refill with Daria and Wizard Race of Oz. And the fact that you can play this in combination with Wizard Race of Oz makes this card especially good. So yeah, this card does a lot of things. Burn damage, counters Abyss, mass polymorph, so you can get the board back. Just an amazing one. 3 Daria, Dimensional Witch. And this is of course the star of your deck. You're playing this deck for her, and yeah, her effect is crazy. You can play this card for a really cheap cost, and not only you are drawing 5 cards, but you're also spell boosting them, which means that if you draw Ogler or Blade Mage, you can play them for 0 or for 1, and that's just crazy. So yeah, now let's talk about other viable choices. Kaleidoscopic Glow. This card wasn't played in Daria Runecraft back in Rise of Bahamut days, but it can be very good in this meta, especially when going second, so that you don't die on turn 4 from an Alice play. So that's why you can include it in your Daria Runecraft list. The only problem with this card is that when you go first it's a bit clunky, so I decided not to include it in mine, but I'm considering to swap out Magic Missile for it. Fate's End. This card was played in 3 copies back in the days, but right now I feel like it doesn't have enough room, and you don't need all that card draw. Still, this is a great card to draw after a Daria, so you can decide to include a few copies of it. Chimera. I feel like this card turned out to be way slower than people thought, but I don't know, it can make some use maybe. You can try it out, I just feel like it's not good enough. That being said, let's go for some replays. First game is against Havencraft, going first.
For a fight. Is fighting and despair all you know?
So let's talk a bit about the mulligan here. When you see a hand like this, you just reroll everything. You usually want to look for cheap spells and spell boost followers. Of course, if you see Daria in your opening hand, you just keep her every time, but you don't hard mulligan for her. This deck can win even if you don't see her in your opening hand. So Blade Mage is pretty much the only spell boost follower that I wouldn't keep, which is why here I reroll everything. And this hand is a bit better. Insight is a great card to keep on your opening hand. If you see it, just keep it every time. And I draw into Daria, which is really good. I also find a Magic Missile here, which is great, because I can play Magic Missile on 2 to discount Ogre to 3, and then just keep playing on curve. So he skips his turn 1. I play Magic Missile, of course. That way I can play a turn 3 Ogler. And a turn 3 3-4 is pretty good, especially when going first. So he kills it, but that's a big investment. Of course here I just play Witchette and Levi, even if keeping Levi for an evolution turn is usually better, but I just couldn't afford it, especially since he's a neutral deck.
My wings are killing me! Unbelievable!
I'm all tuckered out.
Crystals of snow shimmer.
So he has a pretty good turn here. I was going to Wizardries of Oz, but I draw into Levi, which is better, because Wizardries of Oz wouldn't have much value here.
Done for.
It's just like back in the old days.
Oh wait. Crystals of snow.
And keep in mind, with this deck you want to go face a lot of times. So here I just Crimson Sorcery his face, ignoring that 3. And take a good trade for the 4-2.
Let us conclude. My wings are killing me.
I didn't care too much about the 2-3 because I was going to polymorph it with Mutagenic Bolt the turn after. So yeah, here I do a misplay, because here I just queued up Mutagenic Bolt without even seeing what I would draw. So yeah, that's pretty stupid, don't do that. Here of course DOD would be better, but I play Mutagenic Bolt instead. He takes a Themis here, which is a bit of a waste, but I guess he didn't have a better turn. So of course I played Clark into Daria.
With a bang and a boom.
And I was confident he didn't have another Themis here, so I decided to play Ogre. And if he did, I had another Daria, so not a problem. Please Garuda.
No! You're done for.
The winds become gales.
At this point he has drawn a lot of cards, so I decided to play around Themis. Which means that I play Conjure Golem, Angelic Snipes, but I don't play Daria.
It won't be long now.
I use my last evolution points to push for more face damage. And it turns out he didn't draw Themis Decree. So this would be enough to stop me from having lethal, but I have Mutagenic Bolt, so I win me.
Envy you.
Next game is going second against Swordcraft, and this is a neutral Swordcraft too. So, of course I keep Daria and Levi going second. You usually don't keep Levi, but going second is such a great card, especially against Swordcraft where board control is pretty much everything. I draw into Piercing Rune 2, which is good, but I need better early turns now. So I need to hope that I draw into a 1 or 2 drops. And I find the Insight and the Magic Missile, which is great. So Unica, of course I Magic Missile her because I have an Angelic Snipe in my hand. Which means that I can clear her on next turn.
Come on, everyone! Hurry up! Unbelievable!
I go for the clear and use my second Levi as tempo play.
I'm just a mage who's as old.
And this is because, of course, I'm going to play Levi plus Piercing Rune next turn, and I will have a turn 5 Daria. So I don't need the second Levi, even if it's pretty good to evolve 2 of them. Right now I just need him to soak 2 damage. Of course he takes the trade because it's dangerous to leave it alive, and play Alice. And that's pretty good for me, because it means I can play Levi plus Piercing Rune and clear the board.
I'm just a mage who's as old as
You're
dirt.
done for.
It's just like back in the old days.
Let's play again. A job well done. You wouldn't. My boss works us to the bone. You're done for.
Plays Lyrial, clears my board without trading,
Killing me.
I'm all tuckered out.
and plays Cinderella. This is a big board. Now I have a few choices here. I decided to play the Crimson Sorcery phase, even if I could get a full clear, because I was going to play Daria soon enough, and I was hoping for a refill of damage, which means that I decided to take the aggressive and risky play, but full clearing the board was fine too.
You wouldn't.
So here I just cleared the 5/5 with
It won't be
Ogler.
long now. Finally a break.
Takes a trade, which is good for me. It means that my play was alright. And here I play Wizardry Suppose with Mutagenic Bolt. Which is such a great turn 6. Deals 2 damage and removes his board. Play the second Alvida.
With me, Captain. Death is another fiction.
And at this point I have a really great Daria. Of course I play Clark because I'm almost free.
With a bang and a boom.
Here I just fill my board because Swordcraft doesn't have any efficient board clear.
Blimey.
Except of course for Cyclone Blade, but almost nobody runs it. Just clears
Interesting.
and plays an useless Alvida's command.
Away with ye, scurvy dog.
Here for some reason he decides to go face, but I have Piercing Rune in my hand, so I just win the game.
Blimey. You wouldn't. An exemplary battle.
Third game is going second against Earthright Burn
See
Rune
you
deck.
in action.
And here I could have kept the Conjure Golem, but I decided to do a hard mulligan for spell boost followers, but usually just keep the Conjure Golem. I find an Insight which is pretty good, and even Piercing Rune when going second. So I place this Earth Sigil, and I find an early Daria, which is great, especially considering that I have 200 snipes. Here I decided to remove his Earth Sigil from the board and spell boost my hand twice while I'm at here. So here I play Clark, but I don't play Witchette because I realize I have 2 Piercing Runes in my hand, which means that next turn I can play Witchette for 0, evolve it, and play both Piercing Runes.
Come gather round.
For some reason he kaleidoscopics his own Illusionist, which means that I have a full clear with the
You're
Piercing
done
Rune.
for. Ready? Here goes.
I could just clear with 1 Piercing Rune, but I decided to use both to spell boost my hand more and to deal more damage.
Ow. You figured it out.
Yeah, most of the times you just play stuff that looks stupid, but it's very good to deal fixed damage with this deck. Takes a value trade and kills my for 2.
Unbelievable.
But I have a very good Daria here. It's sad to burn 2 Blade Mages, but playing a 4 play points 2-2 with Storm wasn't good enough there.
I'm just amazed.
So here I play Levi.
It won't be long
Another
now.
good turn would have been Magic Missile on the 3-1
Just like
and
back
Blade
in the
Mage for
old
0.
days.
But I prefer to go for the Levi here, so that I can evolve the Blade Mage next turn.
I'm all tuckered out.
Here it takes a full clear,
It won't
but
be long now.
it was at the cost of a Earth Sigil and a 6-5, so I was happy about that.
Come gather round.
And at this point I just throw in everything I have.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
So here I have Levi, which is even better to evolve.
Ends here.
So I have 1 extra
It's
Crimson
just like
Sorcery.
back in the old days. You
Take the clear, I deal 3 damage plus Blade Mage,
tone with your life.
and I even play Witchette Emily.
Time, maybe.
So the only thing that was a bit scary here was a 1 play points Earth Sigil plus Levi, but it turns out he didn't have it. And even if he did, I have so much burn in my deck that I wasn't too scared,
Impressive. Let's
and
not
I win the
do
game.
that.
So this was it for my Daria Runecraft video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you test out this archetype because it's an amazing one, and Wizardries of Oz is one of the most satisfying cards to play in the game right now, in my opinion. So yeah, check this out. And if you haven't, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.